The penthouse smelled like perfume and expensive alcohol. Floor-to-ceiling windows looked down on the city, lights glittering like a sea of stars that could be owned if you had enough money. Music played softly, the kind chosen not for enjoyment, but to prove taste. He sat on the edge of a leather couch, shirt half unbuttoned, glass of whiskey untouched in his hand. 2 women were with him. One leaned against his shoulder, fingers lazily tracing circles on his chest. The other sat cross-legged on the table in front of him, scrolling through her phone until she laughed at something only she understood. "Babe," the one on the couch said softly, lips near his ear. "You promised we'd go shopping tomorrow." He smiled without looking at her. "Sure." The girl on the table looked up instantly. "Wait, like real shopping or just window stuff?" He chuckled. "Real." Both of them lit up. That was always the reaction. He watched it happen again and again, the way their eyes changed the moment money entered the room. Desire sharpened. Laughter became warmer. Touches lasted longer. He enjoyed it. But tonight, something felt off. One of the girls, the one on his shoulder, had been quiet all evening. Too quiet. She kept glancing at her phone, fingers tightening around it whenever she thought he wasn't looking. He noticed. He always noticed. "What's wrong?" he asked casually. She smiled fast, too fast. "Nothing, just tired." A lie. He didn't press. He never pressed. Later, the rain started. Fine droplets streaked the glass as the city lights blurred. They decided to leave private driver waiting downstairs, engine already running. In the elevator, the quiet girl stood closer to him than usual. Her hand slipped into his jacket pocket. He thought nothing of it. The doors opened. The street smelled like wet asphalt and metal. Neon signs buzzed. Traffic hissed. "Wait," she said suddenly. He turned. She stepped in front of him. Her eyes weren't soft anymore. They were shaking. "You trust me, right?" she asked. That was the moment. A small alarm rang in his chest. "Why wouldn't I?" he said slowly. She swallowed. Then she pushed him. Not hard. Not dramatic. Just enough. The horn blared. White light filled his vision. Time stretched. He saw the car first, headlights too close, grille massive, water spraying from its tires. He tried to move, but his foot slipped on the wet ground. He turned his head. She was already stepping back. Eyes wide. Phone in hand. He understood. She sold me. The impact hit like a wall. Sound vanished. His body lifted, twisted, slammed. Pain exploded, ribs cracking, breath forced out, spine screaming. Then the ground. Cold. Wet. Heavy. He tried to breathe. Couldn't. The world flickered, faces above him, distorted, far away. Sirens. Shouting. Someone screaming his name. The girl stood at the edge of the crowd. Watching. She didn't cry. She didn't move. Her phone vibrated. She looked down, then turned away. Darkness swallowed him. There was no heaven. No hell. No voices welcoming him. Just heat. Thick pressing, surrounding. He tried to open his eyes. Nothing. Tried to scream. No mouth. Panic surged. He felt the curve of something around him, smooth, hard, unyielding. A shell. Memories flooded back. The car. The push. The eyes that turned away. I died. A presence stirred. Not sound, information. Reincarnation complete. Form, dragon egg. Status, dormant. Hatching condition, contract required. He tried to laugh. No sound came. Meanwhile, in this new world, 2 days after everything. Somewhere far away. The smell of blood hadn't left yet. It clung to the air like smoke. The girl knelt in the mud behind what used to be her house, hands shaking as she pressed dirt over a small mound. Her fingers were raw, nails cracked and bleeding. She didn't stop, didn't wipe her face. Her mother lay beneath the soil. Next to her, another mound. Her father. She placed a broken wooden charm between the stones. It was all she had left of them. The wind passed through the ruined village. Walls were broken, doors hung loose, burn marks stained the ground. 2 days ago, this place had been loud. Now it was quiet. Too quiet. It started with a bell. A deep iron clang that shook the air. She remembered dropping the bowl she was washing, water spilling across the floor as the sound rolled through the village. Then came the screams. Her father burst through the door. Inside, now. The ground trembled. From the forest they came. A horned beast smashed through the outer fence, wood exploding outward. Another followed, claws tearing stone like paper. Above them, something flew, wings beating hard enough to rip tiles from roofs. Fire lit the sky. People ran. A woman tripped, the beast didn't slow. Its foot came down and there was nothing left. Her mother grabbed her hand. They ran. A shadow passed overhead. The heat came first. Then the flame. The house to their left vanished in an instant, wood igniting, screaming, collapsing. They reached the square. Too late. A demon landed, tall, thin, eyes glowing red. Its arm moved once. Her father stepped in front of her. The blade passed through him like air. Blood sprayed. He fell without a sound. Her mother screamed. The demon turned. Claws pierced her chest. The girl couldn't move. Her legs locked. The demon leaned closer, eyes narrowing. Then a knight charged from the side, slamming into it. "Run!" someone screamed. She ran. She didn't look back. She hid until morning. Under rubble. Hands over her mouth. Listening. The sounds faded slowly, roars turning distant, flames dying into crackles. When she came out, the world was wrong. Bodies lay everywhere. Some burned. Some broken. She walked until she found her parents. She screamed then. Only then. Now, 2 days later, she stood alone. 14 years old. Orphaned. Hungry. She wiped her hands on her dress and stood before the graves. "I'll get strong," she whispered. Her voice shook. "But I won't die like this." The wind answered. Far away, in darkness and heat, a dragon egg pulsed once. Day 3 after the rampage morning. Lyra woke up because her stomach hurt. Not hunger exactly, something worse. A dull, hollow ache that wrapped around her insides and refused to let go. She opened her eyes. Gray sky through broken wood. For half a second, she expected to hear her mother moving around, the sound of clay bowls, her father coughing outside. Nothing. Reality settled back in. She sat up slowly, joints stiff, head pounding. "Okay," she whispered to herself. "Okay." Her voice sounded strange, too loud in the silence. Day 3, afternoon. She tried to go back to the village square. Bad idea. The smell hit her first. She gagged, turned away, pressed her face into her sleeve until her eyes burned. "I don't need to see that," she muttered. "I already know." She forced herself to walk anyway. Not to look. To remember. She stopped where her father had fallen. The stones were still dark. Her chest tightened. She crouched, touched the ground, then pulled her hand back like it burned. "I won't forget," she said quietly. "I swear." Week 1, learning hunger. Hunger stopped feeling sharp after a while. It became constant. Lyra learned how long she could go without eating before her vision blurred. Learned how fast she could walk without collapsing. She counted steps when she felt weak. Just 10 more. At night, she talked to herself. "Tomorrow I'll find something better," she whispered. "Tomorrow I won't be this stupid." Tomorrow will be easier. Tomorrow usually was. Year 1, age 15. By 15, people stopped seeing her as a child. That didn't mean they were kind. She cleaned monster blood from armor, hauled supplies, slept in corners. She trained anyway. At night, she imagined standing beside a massive beast. What would it feel like, she wondered, to not be afraid? Aaron, inside the egg, time passing. Time didn't move right inside the shell. Aaron drifted between memories and heat. Faces of women blurred together. Laughter echoed, hollow now. That girl, he thought bitterly. Figures. He felt anger, then something worse. Regret. Did anyone ever want me, without my money? The egg pulsed. Waiting. 16 years old, 1 week before ceremony. Lyra lay awake, staring at the ceiling. If I get C rank, she whispered, I'll still try. She didn't believe it. Her hands clenched the blanket. I have to. On the day of the ceremony. The plaza was packed. Stone pillars ringed the center, etched with glowing runes. At the heart of it stood the altar, a smooth black slab, cold and ancient. The official raised his hand. Step forward. Names were called. One by one, teenagers swallowed the pill and placed their hands on the crystal. Light flared. Letters appeared. D rank, cheers. B rank, gasps. A rank, applause. Her name echoed. Lyra. She stepped forward. Her boots were worn, her clothes patched. Eyes followed her, curious, dismissive, uninterested. The pill was bitter. It burned going down. She placed her hand on the crystal. Nothing happened. Her heart pounded. Then, a faint glow. A single letter burned into the air. F rank. Silence. The crystal dimmed. Whispers exploded. F rank. That's the lowest. Why even bother? Her ears rang. The official didn't look at her. Move along, he said softly. She stepped back. Her legs felt hollow. A boy behind her laughed. Her dream collapsed without a sound. 3 days after the ceremony, morning, school grounds. The training yard smelled like dust and sweat. Lyra stood at the edge of the formation, hands clasped behind her back, eyes lowered. Around her, other students talked loudly, comparing ranks, boasting about future contracts. B rank already puts me above city average, a boy said proudly. My cousin awakened A rank, another replied. I won't accept anything less. Lyra didn't look up. She already knew what they thought of her. Instructor arrival. Boots hit stone. The yard fell quiet. Instructor Halden, scar across his jaw, missing 2 fingers, scanned the group like cargo. Today, he said, you'll receive your dungeon assignments. A murmur rippled through the students. Lyra's stomach tightened. Group placement. Names were called. High ranks first. Cheers, smiles, excitement. Then, F rankers. The word landed like an insult. Halden didn't even look at them. You'll be assigned to Group 7, he said. Rear position, observation only, do not engage unless ordered. Lyra nodded. As expected. The walk to the dungeon, same day, afternoon. The dungeon entrance loomed at the base of a cliff, black stone swallowing light. Guards stood at attention. Instructors reviewed rules again. Stay with your group. Do not chase monsters. Do not enter side tunnels. Lyra repeated them silently. Stay alive. Inside the dungeon, first level. Torches flared to life. Stone walls closed in. Water dripped from above. The air was colder inside, heavy, old. Group 7 moved slowly. At the front, a C-rank tamer laughed as his beast crushed a low-level monster. Did you see that? He bragged. No one looked back. Lyra walked last. Always last. Gradual separation, not instant. It didn't happen suddenly. It happened naturally. They moved faster. She slowed. Her boots slipped on damp stone. She stopped once to steady her breathing. When she looked up again, the torchlight ahead was farther away. "Wait," she called. No one answered. She quickened her pace. The tunnel branched. They took the left. She reached it too late. The echoes swallowed their footsteps. Alone and realizing it, Lyra stood still. Her breathing sounded too loud. "Great," she muttered. She checked her torch. Still burning. "Don't panic." She followed the wall, choosing the wider tunnel, the one instructors said monsters avoided. Each step echoed. Her skin prickled. Not fear. Something else. The first sign, subtle, not obvious. The air changed. Warmer. Her torch flame wavered, bending slightly, like pulled by unseen breath. Lyra stopped. Her heart beat faster. "Is there a fire monster nearby?" she whispered. She didn't like how the warmth felt. It wasn't hostile. It was watching. The pull, instinct, not knowledge. She felt it in her chest. A tug. Not a thought. A pull. Her feet moved before she fully decided. "Just a look," she told herself. Then I turned back. The tunnel widened. Stone blackened. Heat rolled outward. Her torch dimmed. The chamber. She stepped into open space. Her breath caught. The egg stood at the center, massive, ancient, veins glowing like molten lines beneath obsidian shell. The air hummed. Lyra froze. "This," she whispered. "What is this?" Fear told her to run. Something deeper told her to step closer. Inside the egg, at the same time, Aaron felt it. Not heat. Not sound. Presence. For the first time since death, the silence cracked. Someone's here. Compatible soul detected. The egg pulsed. Lyra, decision. Her hands shook. Her thoughts raced. This thing is dangerous. This thing is alive. If I leave, will I ever find it again? She swallowed. "I don't know why," she said softly, voice echoing, "but I feel like you're waiting." Her fingers hovered inches from the shell. Dungeon, chamber of heat, seconds passing. Lyra's fingers hovered in the air. Close enough that she could feel it now, not heat exactly, but pressure, like standing too near a bonfire without being burned. Her heart hammered. This is stupid, she thought. I'm F rank, I shouldn't even be here. The egg pulsed again. Slow. Heavy. Her breath hitched. Are you alive? She asked quietly. The sound of her own voice startled her. It echoed back thin and small, swallowed by the vast chamber. She waited. Nothing answered. But the pull didn't fade. Outside, dungeon main path, same time. Instructor Halden slowed. Not because he wanted to. Because something felt wrong. He turned his head, eyes scanning the line of students. Count off, he ordered. Numbers echoed down the tunnel. 6, 7, 8. He frowned. Again. This time his voice was sharper. They counted again. Still wrong. Halden's jaw tightened. Group 7, he barked. Where's your rear? The students glanced at each other. A boy shrugged. The F-rank girl thought she was behind us. Halden swore under his breath. Dungeon, chamber back to Lyra. Her hand shook. She lowered it slightly. Okay, she whispered to herself. Think. Rules echoed in her mind. Don't touch unknown artifacts. Don't engage alone. Don't be stupid. She laughed softly, a short, broken sound. Guess I already failed that. She stepped closer. The shell's surface was smoother than she expected. Not cold, not hot. Alive. Her fingertips brushed it. Inside the egg, Aaron, the exact moment. The sensation hit him like air, rushing into lungs he didn't know he had. Contact. Not physical, existential. Memories surged. The club lights. The rain. The push. The car. Then something else. A presence that wasn't using him. Not wanting money. Not taking. Just there. She's scared, he realized suddenly. But she didn't turn away. The shell cracked, a sound felt more than heard. Primary bond detected. Soul synchronization, 3%, 7%, 12%. Aaron panicked. Wait, what? Final condition met. Dragon core stabilizing. System awakening. Lyra the pain. It hit her without warning. Fire tore through her chest, down her arm into her spine. She screamed. Her knees slammed into stone as glowing symbols wrapped around her wrist, burning themselves into her skin. No, stop, she gasped, teeth clenched. The egg shook violently. Cracks spread across its surface, glowing red. The chamber filled with light. Outside, panic begins. Seal the main tunnel, Halden ordered. Guards moved fast. Find her, he snapped. Now. A student whispered, she's dead, right? Halden shot him a look sharp enough to cut steel. No one dies until I say they do. Inside the egg, system interface, Aaron. The darkness shattered. Blue light filled his vision. Lines of text hovered in the void. System online. Name, Aaron Vale. Race, Dragon Ancient Variant. Status, unhatched. Bonded Tamer, Lyra. Bond rank, F locked. Aaron stared. Dragon. Ancient. F rank. That's insulting, he thought weakly. More text appeared. Note, bond rank reflects Tamer's awakening, not dragon potential. Hidden parameter detected. Override unavailable. Aaron felt something unfamiliar tighten in his chest. Concern. She's hurting because of me. Lyra, between consciousness. The pain faded in waves. She lay on the stone floor, chest heaving, vision blurring. The egg cracked fully. Something moved inside. Her fear spiked. I did this, she thought. I woke it up. She tried to crawl back. Her body wouldn't respond. Hatching first breath. The shell burst outward. Fragments hit the ground with heavy cracks. Smoke and heat rolled through the chamber. A shape emerged. Black scales, smaller than she expected. Wings folded tight against its body, eyes glowing deep red gold. It took a breath. The sound rumbled through the room like distant thunder. Lyra froze. A dragon, she whispered. Aaron seeing her. He opened his eyes. Really opened them. The world was sharp, bright, overwhelming. And there she was. On the ground. Bleeding from her wrist. Breathing too fast. Too small. That's my tamer, he realized. She looks broken. Aaron moved instinctively, placing himself between her and the tunnel. Protective. Natural. First thought between them, not words yet. Lyra felt it. Not a voice. A feeling. Warm, steady. You're not alone. Her breathing slowed. You can think, she whispered weakly. Aaron tilted his head. She felt that. Bond synchronization, 18%. The system pulsed quietly in the back of his awareness. Something had begun. Footsteps approaching. Torches flickered at the tunnel entrance. Voices echoed. Over here. There's heat damage. Lyra's eyes widened. They can't see you, she breathed. They'll kill you. Aaron didn't know why he understood. But he did. Then we leave. Dungeon chamber, seconds after the hatching. The dragon stood on unsteady legs. Aaron felt everything at once. Stone beneath his claws, hot air scraping his lungs, the echo of footsteps growing louder down the tunnel. Too loud, too close. Lyra struggled to push herself upright. Her arms shook violently, the glowing mark on her wrist still pulsing like a heartbeat that wasn't hers. "Don't," she gasped. "Don't let them see you." Her voice cracked halfway through the sentence. Aaron looked at her. Not with logic. With instinct. "She's afraid for me." That thought hit harder than the car ever did. Aaron, thinking clearly for the first time. Okay, think. He had been rich once, powerful in his own way, untouchable. Now he was small, newly born, weak. But not helpless. The system hummed quietly in the back of his mind, like a screen waiting to be tapped. System notice. Emergency synchronization available. Effect, temporary shared movement. Cost, bond strain. Bond strain. Aaron didn't hesitate. Do it. Lyra, the world shifts. The moment the thought crossed his mind, Lyra felt it. Her body suddenly felt lighter. Not stronger. Guided. Like invisible hands were aligning her muscles, steadying her balance. She sucked in a sharp breath and pushed herself upright. "What?" she whispered. Her legs held. Her vision cleared. The fear didn't vanish, but it stopped overwhelming her. "You did that," she said slowly. Aaron didn't answer with words. He stepped closer to her leg, pressing his warm body against her calf. "Move, now." The thought wasn't spoken, but she understood it perfectly. Her eyes widened. "Okay." Dungeon tunnel, the chase begins. Instructor Halden reached the chamber entrance just as the heat surged outward. "What in the?" he muttered. The stone walls were scorched, the air shimmered. "Fan out," he ordered. "Careful." Then he saw the shell fragments. His blood ran cold. "A dragon egg," he whispered. "Impossible." A guard shouted, "Movement, deeper tunnel." Halden's eyes snapped up. After them. Lyra, running with something beside her. Lyra ran. Her boots slapped stone, her breath burned, sweat soaked her back. Aaron kept pace at her side, wings tucked tight, claws scraping lightly against the floor. She felt him, not just physically, but inside. Every time she stumbled, her body corrected itself. Every time she slowed, a pulse of urgency pushed her forward. Left. She turned. Duck. She dropped as a rock flew overhead, summoned by a monster startled by the noise. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. Aaron, panic and focus. "I can't fight," Aaron realized. "I'm a newborn, I'm fragile." That scared him more than death ever had. But then another thought followed. So is she. And she was still running. Still choosing to move forward instead of curling up and breaking. Something hardened inside him. Bond synchronization, 22%. A wrong turn, and the consequence. Lyra skidded around a corner. And froze. The tunnel dead-ended. A low growl echoed from the shadows. A monster. Small but fast, too close. "Oh no," she breathed. Aaron stepped in front of her without thinking. His wings flared slightly. "Stay back." She didn't argue. The monster lunged. First instinct, dragon fire. Aaron didn't know how to breathe fire. But his body did. Heat surged up his throat. Pain flared. Then, a thin stream of flame burst from his mouth. It wasn't powerful. It wasn't wide. But it was enough. The monster shrieked as the fire scorched its face, slamming into the wall and collapsing in a smoking heap. Silence followed. Aaron staggered, legs shaking. That took everything. Lyra dropped to her knees beside him. "You did it," she whispered, disbelief flooding her voice. "You saved me." Her hand hovered over him, unsure. Then she gently touched his head. Warm, solid, real. Aaron froze. That's new. System update, quiet, almost shy. Skill acquired. Ember breath, rank, dormant. Condition, growth required. Warning, core energy critically low. Aaron sagged slightly. Lyra noticed immediately. You're tired, she said softly. I can feel it. She swallowed. Can you keep going? Aaron pushed himself upright. I didn't come this far to stop now. The exit, almost too late. Light appeared ahead. Natural light. The dungeon exit. They burst out into the open air, just as shouts echoed behind them. Guards spilled out moments later. Halden stopped dead. Because Lyra was standing there. Alive. Breathing. And beside her. Nothing. Aaron had already slipped behind her cloak, pressing close, hiding his heat. Halden stared. Lyra, he said slowly, what happened in there? Her heart pounded. She looked down slightly. Felt Aaron's presence steady her. I got lost, she said. It wasn't the full truth. But it wasn't a lie either. Halden studied her for a long moment. Then he sighed. We'll talk later. That night, somewhere quiet. Lyra didn't sleep in the dorms. She went back to her small room, locked the door, pressed her back against it. Only then did she slide down to the floor. Her hands shook. Aaron climbed into her lap, curling instinctively against her chest. She froze. Then slowly wrapped her arms around him. You're real, she whispered. Aaron closed his eyes. For the first time since dying, he felt something settle. So are you. Bond synchronization, 25%. The system pulsed once. Quiet. Waiting. Settling in. She carefully moved to the thin mattress on the floor, placing him beside her. The room was barely more than 4 walls and a roof, cracked stone, one small window, a blanket folded in the corner. She lay on her side, facing him. They watched each other in silence. Lyra spoke first. You came out of that egg, she said quietly. You saved me, and now you're here. Her voice trembled. I don't even know what you are. Aaron shifted slightly, claws scraping softly against the floor. Dragon, he thought. Then hesitated. I think. The uncertainty surprised even him. Bond synchronization, 27%. Aaron looking back. As the room grew darker, memories crept in. Not as sharp images, more like impressions. Rain. Neon lights. A hand pushing him forward. Anger flared. Then faded. That life is gone. He looked at Lyra again, thin, tired, eyes too serious for her age. This one isn't borrowed. Lyra, fear creeps in. The excitement drained. Reality crept back. You know they'll notice, she whispered. The instructors, the academy. She swallowed. If they find out I have you. She didn't finish the sentence. Aaron understood anyway. He pushed himself closer to her, curling instinctively against her stomach. Then they won't find out. Lyra's arms wrapped around him without thinking. I don't know how to hide a dragon, she said weakly. Aaron's mind flickered. Then we learn. System, first true explanation. The hum returned. Clearer now. System notice. Bond stability achieved. Basic interface unlocked. Aaron focused. The text shifted. Rule 1. The dragon grows only through the bonded tamer. Rule 2. The tamer's rank limits visible power, not actual growth. Rule 3. If bond breaks, both die. Aaron went very still. Both. Lyra gasped softly. Why do I feel like you just learned something important? Aaron didn't hide it. If we separate, we die. Her arms tightened instantly. Then we won't, she said without hesitation. The certainty in her voice surprised them both. Bond synchronization, 30%. Learning each other slowly. Minutes passed. Then more. Lyra watched his chest rise and fall. "You're warm," she murmured, "like a living heater." Aaron snorted softly. "You're cold." She smiled faintly at that. "My name is Lyra." A pause. Aaron. The name felt strange on his tongue. It felt right. First sleep together. Exhaustion finally won. Lyra's eyes drifted shut. Aaron tucked himself closer, wings wrapping instinctively around her midsection like a blanket. For the first time since the rampage. For the first time since the car. Neither of them dreamed. They slept. Morning, a problem immediately. Light crept through the small window. Lyra stirred. Something warm pressed against her chest. Her eyes snapped open. "Oh." She froze. Then relaxed as memory flooded back. "You're still here," she whispered. Aaron lifted his head. "Where would I go?" She laughed softly, a small broken sound but real. Then footsteps passed outside. Voices. Her smile faded. "We have to be careful today," she said quietly. Aaron felt it too. The world hadn't changed. Only they had. Morning, same day. Lyra froze mid-movement. Outside. Voices. Not casual ones. Official. Confirm heat surge lasted 30 seconds. No remains except shell fragments. Dragon classification still unconfirmed. Her breath caught in her throat. Aaron felt it instantly, her fear spiking, sharp and cold. "They're talking about me." "Yes," Lyra whispered back, barely moving her lips. "And if they find you." She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Aaron's mind flickered with system text. Not commands, just context. World risk entity, protocol detected. Advisory, discovery probability rising. World risk. That sounds bad. Outside, Instructor Halden. Halden stood in the alley, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the building. A knight beside him muttered, "If it really was a dragon egg." Halden's jaw tightened. "Then we don't let it hatch," he said flatly. "And the girl?" A pause. "That depends." Inside, Lyra makes the connection. Lyra's thoughts raced. "They didn't cheer when they saw the shell," she whispered. "They didn't call it a blessing." Her hands clenched. They were scared. Aaron understood then. Power isn't the problem. Uncontrollable power is. His body tensed. "And I don't fit their rules." System, cold truth. System, notice. Dragon growth path, independent. Tamer rank influence, cosmetic only. Projected outcome if discovered. Dragon, terminated. Tamer, detained, eliminated. Aaron went still. Eliminated. Lyra felt the sudden emotional weight slam into her chest. "They'd kill you," she whispered. Then softer. "They'd kill me too, wouldn't they?" Aaron didn't lie. Yes. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Absolute. Lyra, decision without drama. She stood. No shaking. No tears. Just resolve. "Then we don't let them," she said. Aaron looked up at her. "You're not strong enough yet." She nodded. "I know." She met his eyes. "But I will be." Bond shift. Something changed between them. Not power. Commitment. Bond synchronization, 34%. Hidden trait detected, mutual resolve. Aaron felt it, a tightening, like something fragile hardening into steel. For the first time, he didn't feel like a burden. He felt like a responsibility. One she chose. Outside, the world moves on for now. Halden exhaled slowly. "No proof," he said. "Yet." He turned away. "But keep watching her." The knights nodded. Inside, quiet promise. Lyra sat back down, resting her forehead gently against Aaron's. "We grow quietly," she whispered. Aaron closed his eyes. "Then we grow dangerously." The system pulsed. Not in warning. In agreement. Same morning, after the voices fade. Lyra didn't move for a long time. She sat on the floor, back against the wall, eyes fixed on the door as if it might suddenly burst open. Only when the footsteps outside fully disappeared did she let out the breath she'd been holding. Her shoulders sagged. "They really would have killed you," she said softly. Aaron shifted closer to her side. His scales were still warm, but weaker than the night before. "They would have called it necessary," he replied, the thought carrying a bitterness he hadn't felt when he was human. Lyra's lips pressed together. "Then we don't give them a reason." She reached for the blanket and draped it loosely over him, instinctively hiding his shape. Midday, hunger returns. Reality returned fast. Lyra's stomach growled loudly. She grimaced. Right food. She stood, adjusting her worn clothes, then paused. "You eat, don't you?" Aaron tilted his head. "I think so." That answer made her laugh, a short, surprised sound. "Great, 2 mouths now." She crouched in front of him, serious again. "You can't come outside at all." "I know." "Not a sound." "I really know." She hesitated, then added quietly, "If anyone asks, I'm still alone." Aaron didn't like that sentence, but he understood it. Lyra outside, day 1 of lying. The streets were busy. Merchants shouted. Adventurers passed with beasts at their heels, wolves, armored boars, scaled hounds. Lyra kept her head down. She felt it immediately, the difference. Before, she had walked empty. Now there was a presence tugging gently at her awareness, like a thread pulled taut. He's waiting, she realized. That thought steadied her. Aaron alone, learning stillness. The room was quiet again. Aaron curled tighter, forcing his breathing slow, shallow. "Hide the heat." He focused inward, on the strange core in his chest, a slow-burning ember. When he calmed, the warmth dulled. Skill progression noted. Passive control, plus 0.1%. He almost laughed. Even hiding counts as training. Afternoon, academy grounds. Lyra was summoned. Not loudly. Not officially. A message, a look, a pause too long. Instructor Halden waited near the edge of the yard, arms folded. "You recovered quickly," he said. Lyra nodded. "I didn't want to fall behind." A lie. But a careful one. Halden studied her. "Tell me," he said, voice low, "did you see anything unusual in the dungeon?" Her heart pounded. She kept her face still. "Just rocks," she said, "and dark." A pause. "And heat." Her fingers twitched. "From torches," she replied evenly. Halden exhaled slowly. "Very well." But his eyes said not yet. Night the first test. Lyra returned after dark. She locked the door behind her and immediately dropped to her knees. "I'm back," she whispered. The blanket shifted. Aaron crawled out, wobbling slightly. Her chest loosened. "You're okay." "You took too long." She smiled faintly. "I know." She pulled out a small pouch, dried meat, stale bread. "I don't know what you can eat," she admitted, "but this is all I have." Aaron sniffed it. Then nibbled. His body warmed slightly. Core energy, stabilizing. Lyra watched closely. "Does it hurt?" she asked suddenly. "What?" "Being like this," she said. "Bound to me, hiding, growing in secret." Aaron thought. He remembered champagne, music, empty laughter. Then he looked at her, thin, exhausted, trying anyway. "No," he answered honestly. "This feels earned." Her eyes stung. Late night, training without witnesses. Lyra stood in the center of the room. "Okay," she whispered. "We try something small." She extended her hand. The mark on her wrist glowed faintly. Erin felt the pull. Careful. I know. She focused, not on power but on connection. Her breath slowed. The air warmed slightly. Not flame. Just heat. The candle flame flickered, then steadied, burning brighter. Lyra gasped. I did that. Bond skill unlocked. Shared focus, rank F. Erin felt pride, sharp and unexpected. You did. Outside, the world shifts quietly. In a stone hall far away, a crystal flickered. An official frowned. Another anomaly, he asked. Yes, a mage replied. Small, localized. Keep watching. Back in the room, a promise. Lyra sank onto the mattress, exhausted. Erin climbed onto her chest, curling up. We'll be careful, she murmured. We'll grow slow, quiet. Erin closed his eyes. And when we're ready. She finished the thought without hearing it. They won't be able to stop us. Bond synchronization, 38%. The ember in Erin's core burned a little brighter. Not enough to be seen. Enough to survive. Day 2, after the dungeon, early morning. Lyra woke before the sun. Not because she wanted to. Because her body remembered fear. Her eyes opened to the gray light creeping through the cracks in the wall. For half a second, she forgot everything. Then she felt the warmth on her chest. Erin. Curled tightly, wings folded, breath slow. She exhaled. Morning, she whispered. One eye opened. You're tense. She huffed quietly. You noticed that fast. It's loud in here, he replied, not meaning sound. She rubbed her face, then carefully shifted so she wouldn't disturb him. I have training today, she said. Field practice. Erin lifted his head slightly. Outside. Yeah, open ground. He didn't like that. Neither did she. Academy grounds, late morning. The field stretched wide and bare, surrounded by low stone walls. Targets stood at uneven distances. Wooden dummies bore claw marks and burn scars from previous sessions. Students gathered in groups. Lyra stood where she was told, back line, support position. Always. Instructor Halden paced in front of them. Today is live exercise, he announced. Simulated threat response, controlled beasts. Controlled. Lyra didn't like that word. Erin, alone again. The room felt colder without her. Erin lay still, counting breaths, hers, not his. The thread between them stretched but didn't break. Be careful, he sent. The feeling that came back wasn't confidence. It was resolve. The exercise begins. A cage gate slammed open. A horned beast charged into the field, snarling, eyes wild but shackled by runes. Front line, Halden shouted. Students moved. Magic flared, beasts lunged. Lyra stayed where she was supposed to. Watching. Waiting. Her hands clenched. I can help, she thought. But helping meant power. And power meant questions. The mistake. It happened fast. Too fast. A boy stumbled. The beast broke through its restraints, charging toward him. Screams cut through the field. Lyra's heart slammed against her ribs. If I don't move. She ran. Lyra, stop, someone shouted. She didn't. She grabbed a fallen spear and hurled it. The spear struck true, not lethal, but enough to turn the beast aside. The boy collapsed, shaking. The instructors moved in immediately. The beast was subdued. Silence followed. The stairs. Everyone looked at her. Not impressed. Confused. Halden's gaze was sharp. You moved without command, he said. Lyra swallowed. Someone was going to die. That wasn't your decision to make. Her jaw tightened. Yes, sir. He studied her for a long moment. Then, you reacted faster than your rank suggests. Her stomach dropped. Careful. Later, alone with the consequence. She sat on the stone steps behind the training yard, staring at the dirt. Erin felt it before she spoke. You used us. She nodded faintly, just a little. They noticed. I know. Her fingers dug into her sleeves. But I couldn't watch him die. Silence stretched between them. Then Erin sensed something she didn't expect. Thank you. She blinked. For what? For choosing someone else over safety. Her throat tightened. That night, the question she was avoiding. Back in the room, Lyra paced. I felt it, she said finally. When I threw the spear, I wasn't stronger, I was steadier. Erin shifted. That's the bond. She stopped. So this isn't just about you growing. No. He hesitated. It's about us becoming dangerous together. She sat down hard. That's what scares me. Erin climbed onto her knee, meeting her eyes. It should. System, a warning, not a threat. System notice. Bond influence detected in public setting. Risk level, low escalating. Recommendation, controlled exposure or total suppression. Lyra laughed softly, bitter. Even the system's nervous. Erin didn't joke back. It's right. Outside, a decision is made. In a quiet office, Halden stood before a sealed document. An F rank doesn't move like that, he muttered. He closed the folder. Observe her more closely. Back inside, the cost of hiding. Lyra lay on her back, staring at the ceiling. If this keeps happening, she whispered, I won't always be able to stop myself. Erin settled beside her neck, warmth spreading. The next time, he replied, we choose when to be seen. Her heart skipped. Next time. He didn't answer. But the ember in his core burned brighter than before. Bond synchronization, 41%. Not enough to alarm the world. Enough to change them. Day 3, morning before training. Lyra felt it the moment she stepped onto the academy grounds. Eyes. Not staring. Watching. She adjusted the strap on her bag and kept walking, posture neutral, steps even. Inside, her heartbeat was loud enough that she was sure someone could hear it. Erin, she thought. I know. The bond was quiet but taut, like a rope pulled too tight. Erin alone, uneasy. He paced the small room in slow circles. Something was wrong. Not danger, not yet. Attention, the system whispered without words. He pressed himself flat against the floor, scales dull, heat suppressed. If they take me, he thought, she dies. That thought had stopped being abstract. Training yard, midday. The exercise was simple, too simple. Paired drills. Lyra was placed with a boy she didn't know well, C-rank, confident, loud. He smiled at her, friendly enough. Don't worry, I'll handle the heavy part. She nodded. I know. The drill began. Wooden weapons clashed. Controlled beasts prowled at the edges, watched closely by instructors. Lyra moved when she had to. No faster. No slower. But the boy noticed anyway. You're weirdly calm, he said under his breath as they reset. She didn't answer. He squinted. You weren't like this before the dungeon. Her grip tightened. The question. They took a water break. The boy leaned closer, voice low. What did you see down there? Lyra froze for half a second too long. Nothing, she said. He laughed lightly. Come on, everyone sees something their first time. She met his eyes. Not me. Something in her tone shut him up. But it didn't erase his curiosity. Instructor Halden, watching closely. Halden stood at the edge of the yard, arms crossed. He wasn't looking at the drills. He was watching Lyra breathe. Too steady. Too controlled. Like someone bracing for something, he thought. That afternoon, the confrontation. Lyra. The word stopped her cold. She turned. Halden stood behind her, close enough that she could smell leather and dust. "Walk with me." It wasn't a request. Quiet corridor, no witnesses. Stone walls, narrow space, no windows. Haldon stopped. "Tell me something," he said calmly. "Why didn't you panic in the dungeon?" Lyra swallowed. "I did. Not enough." Her fingers twitched. He continued. "You didn't cry, you didn't freeze, you didn't beg." He leaned closer. F-rankers usually do. The words were sharp, but his voice wasn't cruel. It was curious. Dangerously so. "I've been alone a long time," Lyra said carefully. "I learned not to panic." Haldon studied her face. "That explains some things. But not all." Aaron, sudden pressure. The bond flared. Aaron's core pulsed, hot and violent. "He's probing you." "I know." The system lit up. Warning. Emotional spike detected. Dragon instinct rising. Aaron clenched his jaw. "Not now." Haldon's next words. "Show me your wrist." Lyra's heart slammed into her ribs. "Why?" "Because," he said quietly, "I think you bonded with something in that dungeon." Silence fell. Heavy, crushing. Lyra, choice in a single breath. If she refused, suspicion would harden into certainty. If she showed him. She lifted her sleeve slowly. The mark glowed faintly, barely visible. Haldon's eyes widened just a fraction. Then narrowed. "That's not a standard contract mark," he said. Aaron felt something snap. Enough. Inside the room, the first almost loss. Heat surged through the bond. Lyra gasped, staggering. Aaron, stop. Too late. Far away, a window cracked. A candle flared violently. Haldon stepped back, hand moving to his weapon. "Dragon," he whispered. "System, emergency lock." "Emergency, protocol activated." "Instinct suppression, forced." "Bond strain, critical." Aaron screamed, not aloud but inside. The heat collapsed inward. The pressure vanished. Lyra dropped to her knees, coughing. Haldon stared at her. Alive. Human. No beast in sight. Just an F-rank girl, shaking on the floor. Aftermath silence. Haldon slowly lowered his hand. "You're playing a dangerous game," he said quietly. Lyra looked up, eyes wet but steady. "I didn't ask for this," she said, "but I won't give it up." Haldon held her gaze. For a long time. Then he turned away. "I didn't see anything today," he said. Her breath caught. "But others will," he added. "Be ready." He walked away. That night, pain and truth. Lyra collapsed the moment she was alone. Aaron barely moved, body trembling, heat unstable. She pulled him into her arms. "I'm sorry," she whispered over and over. "I'm sorry." "Not your fault," he managed weakly. "I lost control." She shook her head. "No, we both did." She pressed her forehead to his. "Next time," she said, voice shaking but firm, "we decide together." Aaron closed his eyes. "Next time," he agreed, "we don't almost die." Bond synchronization, 44% unstable. The system pulsed, not in warning this time. In anticipations. Night, the room is too quiet. Lyra's breathing finally slowed. Aaron lay curled against her chest, heat unstable, scales dull instead of glossy. Every few seconds, his body twitched, like something inside him was grinding against invisible restraints. She didn't sleep. She watched him. "You almost burned from the inside," she whispered. "I know," Aaron replied weakly. It felt like being crushed. She swallowed. "I thought I lost you." For the first time since rebirth, Aaron felt fear that wasn't about himself. So did I. The system, not gentle, not kind. Without warning, the blue light returned. Not faint. Not passive. It filled Aaron's vision with sharp clarity. System reconfiguration complete. Trigger, near termination event. Cause, world risk suppression. Aaron tensed. Reconfiguration. Lyra felt it too, a sudden pressure behind her eyes. Something's happening, she murmured. The first mission appears. Text unfolded slowly, deliberately, as if the system wanted to be understood. Main directive. Survive, grow, override limitation. Then, Mission 1, stabilize the bond. Objective. Dragon core stability above 60%. Tamer vitality maintained. Conditions. No public exposure. No instinct overrun. Rewards. Dragon level +1. Bond synchronization +5%. Tamer EXP +100. Aaron stared. Tamer EXP. Lyra gasped softly, clutching her chest. I felt something, she whispered, like something moved inside me. Lyra, the impossible happens. Her wrist burned. Not pain, recognition. A translucent interface flickered at the edge of her vision. Not words she could read clearly, but weight, direction, potential. That's not normal, she breathed. Aaron focused harder. System note. Exception granted. Tamer growth path, enabled. Enabled. That wasn't supposed to be possible. He remembered the ranks. FEDCBASSS, SSS, X. Humans were locked. Except her. Aaron, understanding the cheat. The system didn't say why at first. Then it did. Reason. Dragon growth is independent. Independent growth requires equivalent anchor. Anchor identified, Lyra. Conclusion. Tamer rank limitation removed, hidden. Aaron went still. The system didn't break the rules. It bent them so I wouldn't destroy her. Lyra, fear turns into something else. I shouldn't be able to grow, she whispered. F rank means that's it. Aaron sent the truth gently. Not anymore. She laughed once, breathless, almost hysterical. So what? I just keep training and I get stronger. No, Aaron corrected. You survive missions. That sobered her instantly. Of course there's a cost. Mission acceptance. The system waited. No countdown. No pressure. Just presence. Lyra looked down at Aaron. You're asking me, she realized. Aaron nodded slightly. I won't force you. She didn't answer right away. She thought of her parents. Of the rampage. Of standing helpless. Then she clenched her fist. Accept. System confirmation. Mission accepted. Bond link reinforced. Tamer EXP flow active. A warm rush spread through Aaron's core, not explosive, but stable. His breathing evened out. The pain receded. Dragon level, 1 right arrow 2. Core stability, 61%. Lyra gasped sharply. Her body felt lighter, not stronger yet, but less fragile. She sat up slowly. I don't feel weak, she said in disbelief. I still am, but not breaking. Tamer EXP, 100. She stared at the invisible number. It doesn't show a limit. Aaron's pulse quickened. Neither does mine. The aftershock. They sat there in silence, absorbing it. Finally, Lyra whispered, if people find out. They won't see EXP, Aaron replied. They'll only see results. Her jaw tightened. Then we control when those results appear. System, a warning wrapped in opportunity. One final line appeared. Notice. If Tamer rank increases publicly, world attention escalates. Probability of containment, high. Aaron understood. We can grow. But the world can't know how fast. Quiet resolve. Lyra lay back down, staring at the ceiling. So this is it, she murmured. Not talent, not luck. She turned her head toward Aaron. Work. He smiled, not with his mouth but with intent. Welcome to leveling the hard way. Bond synchronization, 48% stabilized. The ember in Aaron's core burned steady. Not bright, not loud, but unstoppable.